All right. Hello, folks. Welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam Arduna. This is my mom, Gina.
He's a journalist.
And she's the enthusiast.
I am very enthusiastic about this topic, and I'm going to try to be calm about it, but this is a big one today.
Yes, and before we get to our topic, we want to say happy Throwback Thursday, for all you viewers on Facebook Live that are from the Nebraska area. You may notice we're in our Fremont gear.
Fremont, USA.
Mom's wearing her Fremont Middle School hoodie. I'm wearing a Fremont High School hoodie. And she's rocking the old school stocking cap that is still really nice. I love that hat.
Yes, we do.
And I'm rocking the Kangol hat, which I still wear from time to time, but I used to wear it a lot back in high school, especially in the Fremont days. So,
and by the way, this was Fremont Middle School Student Council because you were the vice president of
yes,
the
I was. And so bringing it back to Throwback Thursday. And so our topic today is a big topic, to be honest, because we're talking about championship teams getting invited to the White House and making a decision on whether or not to participate in celebrating their championship at the White House or declining to go and be there and shake the president's hand. And I know we both have some strong feelings about this situation. And so we really want to bring this up because this really, within the climate that we're in right now, could be a big deal. And so,
well, because we have a new recently crowned Super Bowl champion in the New England Patriots. And,
right.
Martellus Bennett.
Martellus Bennett and Devin McCourty were very outspoken, and they came out and said that they were not going to participate in going to the White House and being there for the celebration. And so a lot of people have their own feelings about that, and some people feel validated about how they feel and some people don't. But we're going to bring that up and kind of speak upon that today because I think it is something that we need to talk about.
Well, and Jamel Hill said this, it's not my original thought. You know, we do want to separate sports and politics. Sports is escapism, but sometimes your food has to touch on the plate.
Of course.
And this is one of those things. There is an intersection between sports, especially our champions, and what's happening in politics. The president is an elected official, and so far is always representing one of two parties. You either have a Republican or a Democrat.
Yes.
And this last election was just abysmal in terms of how we treated each other.
Of course.
I'm not blaming any one side. I'm saying we collectively. The discord was so bad and so negative. So now we have an elected president.
Right.
Mr. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Like it, lump it, it is what it is.
Of course.
But now that you've been on a championship team, on a football team, or all the way from college through the pros, you traditionally get invited to the White House. It's a photo op. It's not really a political discussion.
Right.
He goes up there, tells a few jokes about the players, tries to say their names right, tells a couple of jokes about the season, everybody takes a picture, and you get to tour the White House.
Right.
But for some people, it is so politically divisive, and the things that have been said or the policies are so against what they consider their moral character beyond sports that they're saying no to going. And so I think the question today is, do we agree with that?
Right.
And then what was your other question? Do we think it'll be a trend?
Yes. Do we agree with this, and is this going to be a trend? And I know that because the country is fairly divided with the decision that has been made with electing President Trump, people are very strong within their opinions. And that's not just regular person on the streets, that's premier athletes as well. And so when you're an athlete and you do win a major championship like the Super Bowl or the World Series or the MLS Cup or the NBA championship
or NCAA football championship,
I mean,
any of those things.
You have an opportunity to go to the White House. Most people are jumping for joy to be able to say, hey, I'm going to go hang out with the president. But in today's climate, with kind of how things are being run, with a lot of the things that have happened within the last couple of weeks as President Trump has put some things out there, people are not excited about that. People are not feeling like they need to do that.
Right.
And I think you kind of made a point within our pre-production meeting earlier about how the trends sort of happened within President Obama. People were not respecting his name. They weren't really taking him seriously for whatever reasons, even though he has.
Well, we won't get our politics
get into it, but there's been a lot of things.
We agree with how people treated President Obama.
Exactly. And so, therefore, now we have President Trump, and people don't feel comfortable going to the White House. And so I think as far as a trend for the next 4 years, you're going to have a lot of mixed locker rooms and organizations, as far as bringing this up. Should we go? Should we not go? Is there going to be a vote? And if people aren't all in, how do you do that? Do you have half the guys go? Do you just have the ownership go? How do you handle that situation when you have players not wanting to do that? And so as far as the trend goes, I do think this is going to be something that's going to be brought up.
Well, I agree with you as far as a trend. I think over the next 4 years, you're going to see either fewer members of teams who want to go, or you're going to actually see the White House, just out of own self-protection, not actually extend the invitation, and maybe suspend this tradition just for the next few years, because it would be embarrassing to the White House and to the office of president. I'm not saying the individual man, I'm talking about to the office. It's embarrassing to have people say, I'm not going. So they may just suspend it if you get enough teams, because let's think about it. The NBA will have, well, you'll have the NCAA champion, but when the NBA champion gets crowned, it's probably going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Golden State Warriors. Or it could be the San Antonio Spurs. Where Popovich has already had a whole lot to say. So has Steve Kerr. So has just recently Stephen Curry. And we know where LeBron James, I have one good thing to say about LeBron, and that is it. We know where he stands. So it could be very embarrassing if you continue to invite championship teams who are going to say no, or you invite some and not others. So I think it might be a trend where you just see this practice kind of suspended for a while. And don't worry, America, we're strong. We'll come back from it. Eventually, people will start coming back.
Now, to the second question, or really the first question is, do you agree with this? Are you on the side of the players or people that are saying, hey, I elect not to go to the White House? Do you agree with this situation, because it is the president?
I'm going to be a complete hypocrite, because when Tom Brady couldn't get off of his family vacation to come and shake President Obama's hand 2 years ago when they beat the Seattle Seahawks, when the Seahawks beat themselves in the last second.
Of course.
But nonetheless, his whole team was there, his ownership was there, his coach was there, the rest of his team was there, but he couldn't get back from his family vacation to go. I was very unhappy with Tom Brady's decision to do that. Well, here's what I'm going to say. Part of the reason I was unhappy is because I felt like it was cowardly, because he didn't just have the guts to step up and say, I don't agree with this administration. I don't agree with President Obama. And I think the reason he didn't is because it was a historic president. So now for me, I'm going to say I understand players who say, in my moral compass, I have family members who are immigrants. I have family members who are Mexican. I have friends who are Muslim. I personally don't feel welcome. This does not represent my America, so I'm not going to go. I guess I would have to say, the only thing I would say, Adam, is you have to be respectful of how you treat the office of president. You can say no. As an American citizen, you have the right to say no.
Do that.
But please be respectful.
Of course.
Put out a public statement, which both of them have done. Martell's been, they've done, and just say, I respectfully decline this invitation. While I'm honored to be invited to the White House, for these reasons, I'm not going. That's all I think you have to do.
Well, and I totally agree with you. I thought it was a bad look for Tom Brady not to be there when they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago against the Seahawks. I felt like it was a slight to the president. So I didn't agree with that. But again, it is his right to not go. He can make that choice, and no one's going to arrest him for not showing up at the White House. I think that still definitely needs to make sure that, I think that needs to be applied here. People can say no to going to the White House if they choose not to, and not get destroyed or excoriated or whatever for not being at the White House. And I think people have the right to do that. Whatever your own feelings are about that is however you may feel. But if someone, just like someone may not like President Obama, that's their right to not like them. Just like someone may not like President Trump, that's their right to do that. And so I agree with you. The biggest thing is, like you said, having respect for still the highest office in this country. It means so much, and it needs to be valued as such. And people don't need to be disrespectful, but they can be respectful in a way of saying, I'm not going to go.
Just be honest about it. That was my issue with Tom Brady. I felt like he just wasn't straightforward. He was giving BS excuses. Let's tell the truth. He managed to fly from the Kentucky Derby all the way to Vegas to the Mayweather Pacquiao fight within hours.
And the same day, both those events happened at the same time.
May 2nd. As a matter of fact, I can tell you, May 2nd, 2015.
There you go.
Tell you the date. But he couldn't fly back to be with his team. So my issue with Tom was that he wasn't being honest. I don't have a problem with political discourse and someone, but please, just be respectful.
Of course.
I don't care who you agree with or disagree with. It's the President of the United States.
Of course.
Just respectfully say, here's where I stand, be honest, and then move on.
Right.
So I really think that we're probably going to see less teams invited, and I think that at some point we'll get back to it. But right now, let's be honest, we got more important things to be worried about.
There are so many things to be worried about, yes.
Well,
and
like, why is Charles Oakley getting thrown out of Madison Square Garden?
The NBA is in so much disarray right now. As far as the sports world goes, there's so much other stuff going on that we have, as far as our show goes. Like you said earlier, Jamel Hill said it when, congratulations to her and Michael Smith.
Yeah, good job, guys.
You know, they're now the 6 p.m. Sports Center. But she said, you know, not to have sports and politics men together today, but sometimes your food does have to touch. And so we kind of wanted to bring that a little bit today.
Because it's what everybody's talking about.
And it is what everyone's talking about. But yeah, you know, I think there is a trend that may happen, and they may suspend it for a little bit. But I think once everyone kind of moves on and gets past wherever we're at, and maybe a new face is in the White House, it will come back, and it will be a thing that will happen.
I agree.
And it's a really good thing for these organizations.
And what I do like, let's just disagree agreeably. We're not Iraq where you get thrown into jail if you don't show up somewhere. You know?
But let's also still be respectful and just understand, hey, people have their own opinions, and I think we'll move on from there. We do not have our theme music today.
No.
We're having technical difficulties right now. We always start our show with our theme music and end with it, but we are still very festive because today is Throwback Thursday on OTD. We are rocking our Fremont, Nebraska gear.
I can sing the Fremont Tigers fight song.
Oh my goodness, I have it embedded in my head forever.
You do. I'll do this Tiger song. You do the outro.
The Fremont Tigers, Tigers are we? Hey. All right, so yes. We're doing a Throwback Thursday today, so that's why I got the Kango. She's got the stocking cap, Fremont gear. Please continue to follow us on all of our social media. Type in my name, Adam Orduna, and YouTube. Type in OTD on Facebook. We are all up to date. She is JRepass_OTD on Twitter, and our main Twitter page for OTD is OTD_on-the-deck. Continue to follow us. And we just want to say we love all you guys. Please continue to keep watching, and
we want to hear from you.
We want to see you. Comment, repost, tweet at us, everything. So we want to say we appreciate your time, and thanks for watching, folks.
Bye, Facebook.
All right, Facebook Live. Throwback Thursday.